Happy 4th
Happy
of July from your favorite crew at the
bam, 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 fireworks everywhere.
That's right. I'm bringing the fireworks.
We
Bam,
should have
bam.
had some fireworks on the projector, you know, back here, but maybe next year. You see, Matt and I are dressed to the theme.
Hey.
Joe's just going cool, casual.
Okay, it's a summertime
Yeah,
green,
right, that's
baby.
right.
That is
That's
a
like
nice
the backyard
Green out, it's a
cookout.
summertime
Yeah.
green.
Speaking of the greens, we will be talking with
Oh,
Isaac
that
Simmons.
transition.
That was
See,
a good
that's
one.
why I
That was
did
a
it.
good one.
Yeah, Isaac Simmons and his experience at the U.S. Open. Wow, you don't want to miss this conversation.
Oh,
If you're a
that's good.
golf fan,
Oh, that's good.
you're going to want to check that out. So stay tuned for that. But first, let's talk a little 4th of July. Have a
Okay.
little chatter
Oh.
about that.
I got
What
good fireworks
are our
stories.
plans?
I got
Joe
really
puts
good-
on a
Oh,
show.
boy.
I got fireworks
I've seen it
stories.
from a distance. I've never been there, but I've
Where,
seen it.
is this
from...
at the pickleball courts?
No, this is, well, it's close to the. It's
on the compound.
It's on the compound.
It's
It's
on
part
the
of the
compound,
compound.
okay.
Okay, this is a funny story.
Oh, gosh. Starting you off early.
So I've got 3 older brothers, right? And so my 2 brothers, Jeff and Jim, Jeff, John, Jim, Joey. John and I have a tendency to feud with each other a little bit, right? So one summer I invite John to come to my 4th of July extravaganza out at the yacht compound.
Yeah.
So my dad goes and he picks up a bunch of illegal fireworks from South Carolina.
as
John
you
lives
would
right
do.
on the South
Right.
Carolina border. John says, Dad, I'm getting all the fireworks. So he sends my dad. Dad buys all these illegal fireworks, drives them to Virginia, crosses state lines with them. We're not going to go back. But,
Oh, yeah. You want to give him the license plate number,
and
too?
His license plate is Jay-Z. No. Anyway, so he comes to our place, and then so John and I are really excited about, this is our bonding moment, we're really excited about lighting all these fireworks. Well, we have a pretty good crowd. There's probably 40, 50 people there. And so we have a big party and everything. It gets dark. And so we go out, we have a big field in the back. And we go out, we put up all our stands to light our fireworks. So we had the tubes, we had everything going, right? And everybody there at the party, we really downplayed it. Like, oh, it's going to be a little fireworks
yeah,
show.
few
And so
bottle rockets.
everybody gathers around the fire pit and they're all lined up and it's dark. And we light one off. Oh, those are illegal fireworks, right? Like, like these are going higher than the Virginia state requirement or state minimum maximum, right? And so then the
Is
next
that
one,
tree on fire?
Yeah. So then the next one goes boom. Then I said, all right, John, let's start picking up the pace a little bit, right? Boom, boom, and then you start hearing some ooh,
And that just
right?
gets you going.
Yeah, and now I'm like, okay, and he's like, light them all, man, light them all, right? And I'm like, no, we gotta build it, right? And so then it's like boom, 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 and now they can tell the crowd's really getting into it. And then this is so I'm like, all right, it's time, light them all right? And so we're like, bam, 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 we light them all, and they're going off like it's unbelievable. Like it is a 4th of July
Like it's
extravaganza.
1776.
Here's the best part. So we're standing in the ashes. We're right on it, are just falling down on top of us, right, from where they exploded. And we look up. He's looking up. I'm looking up. And we look up, and at the exact same time, we turn and our eyes catch each other, right? And we look at each other, and I look at him, and he goes, I love you, man. And I said, I love you too, bro. Wow. And then we embraced under the fireworks. And that was our moment. That was our 4th of July moment that I'll never forget.
That's beautiful.
I thought the ash was
love
going to
you,
like
bro.
blind him or something.
No, we were covered in this stuff. It was a great show.
That's a beautiful story.
Matt, I don't know how you can't top that.
John has hot dogs. He's an all-American.
Oh, yeah.
It's an all-American.
Definitely. Okay, so you're walking up to the cookout and there's like all the trays of food, right? Are you getting a cheeseburger, hot dog, or some sort of wings or whatever? Well, obviously, but if you had to choose, what's the number one?
I mean, you gotta go first burger. You're kind of looking what's quality of meat we're talking about. Is it like the straight out the freezer kind, like the pre-made, or is this like, like Warner beef off the farm? We're making and patting the burger. Like then you're going burger, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I like the bratwurst, to be honest.
good bratwurst. Yeah,
Like the cheddar stuff or the cheddar jalapeno stuff ones.
When you put the plate together, my Nana, my wife's,
You talk about her at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, she does some serious cooking. The pasta salad.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the potato salad, and then the
Perfect 4th
macaroni
of July
salad.
side.
Oh my, and then I'm a big baked beans guy.
Listen,
I like the baked beans.
have you
put some, like,
have you guys? And I think this is kind of a Midwestern
bacon
thing. Have
in
you guys
there?
ever had the Snickers salad? It's
Snickers.
apples.
Oh.
Snickers bar, like chopped up Snickers bars, and sometimes like Cool Whip and
Really?
there's Okay, I'll send you a
Oh,
recipe.
I would like to
this
try
is kind
this.
of a
Send it.
Midwest. I thought with
Send
your
it to
Iowa
Nana.
roots,
Yeah,
maybe
no,
you
I've
would
never
Send it to
heard of that
Nana.
before.
Yeah,
I'll send it to
top
Nana.
shelf.
Nana will do it.
Yeah, we'll send you. Yeah, it's good stuff.
All right, we have a lot to get to,
Yeah.
including what Matt is doing out there. You know that
Emily's
we're
really
a
worried.
little worried.
Emily's really worried
What
about
is
it.
Matt doing?
I just
Emily's
want to
really
make sure
worried.
everyone is safe around Flame
Yeah.
Central and the podcast
is
and
Matt
Alcova
doing? I don't know what
Mortgage.
Matt's doing.
But first, let's get to this incredible
Yes.
conversation with Isaac Simmons. Okay, so look, Matt, Joe, and I, we get to play in the Liberty Athletics golf tournament every year at the London Downs.
Prestigious
Very
event.
big deal.
It's a very big deal.
Very, very big deal.
Very big deal.
However, our guest today, Isaac Simmons, he gets to play in the U.S. Open this year.
Yeah.
Oh, so what?
Oh, whatever. Oh,
Whatever.
A
US
little more
Open.
prestigious.
Look at me,
When
I'm so
when
cool.
you're thinking about the history of the game of golf, I mean, you had 6 of one, half dozen of the other, right? Yeah.
London
about
Downs,
it?
Liberty
Yeah.
Athletics.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got the polo from that.
We did get a sharp polo from
Yeah,
that.
did you get a
That's-
polo from the U.S.
I don't
Open?
even know if I got a polo. I
Yeah,
think
you
I
got a polo.
See?
I
Yeah,
don't
you
even
get a
think I got
polo.
a free polo.
Huh?
What?
Did you get 3 pack of embroidered golf balls? No. Did you get the really cheap Liberty University sunglasses? No.
So
Thank you very much.
this is actually really
Isaac,
this is
I'm
actually
so
really
sorry.
funny. A lot of people, like when we play amateur tournaments or even like college tournaments, a lot of like they give tee gifts.
Yeah.
So a lot of tee gifts, like you'll get maybe a head cover
Yeah.
or a yardage book cover or a lineman stick cover. So I'm expecting like something pretty nice for the U.S. Open.
Right.
So in my locker, I did get a really nice Peter Millar like duffel bag.
Okay.
It's probably worth $300, but
Yeah.
inside is 2 bottles of liquor and a case of cigars. So I'm like,
Gosh.
I'm
My
like,
kind
That
of party.
is not the Liberty way.
I guess these is what the pros want is the
Right,
tournament gifts.
right,
So
yeah.
that was
Little
my
different.
tournament gift.
This discussion's
So-
been had amongst the two of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was funny.
But seriously, what an experience, what an accomplishment in itself. Talk a little bit. What was your favorite part about the entire experience?
Yeah, I think my favorite thing is just like the support that I got from like just at home and from Liberty and Lynchburg, and it was just really cool to see like everyone reaching out and just people I hadn't seen in a while, people I haven't heard from in a while. So it was just really cool to just like hear from people and just have the support, and even afterwards, like just having people being supportive even afterwards. It was also really cool just obviously to play with. Maybe leading up to the tournament, I was hoping to, I didn't know who I was going to be playing with out
Yeah.
there. So it was just really cool to play with actually some of the guys like I maybe had hoped to, like play with Justin Rose, John Rahm, Sergio, like, and there's other people,
Wow.
but
Not a big deal.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah,
again,
is that who you
it's
played
not
with?
Matt Warner and
Yeah,
Joe
yeah.
Yock and Paul Nazigan,
No.
but
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
what it is,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. So is that who did you play with at U.S. Open? Who were your parents?
So those are the practice round guys?
so on Monday I played with just Rahm and Sergio.
Wow.
So
Hold on. Whoa, before we move past that,
There's so
what
many
was
questions.
that like?
Yeah.
Like how, because think about
Yeah.
this. For us, guys that, they're talking like, we talk football a lot of weeks on the show. We're talking basketball. Like, this is totally different than what would happen in any other sport. You're not just dropping in with, Giannis and the Joker, right?
Seriously,
You know what I mean?
though.
You're not just like, hey, I went and caught a few passes from Aaron Rodgers this week. Like golf, this is totally
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
outside of that world.
So that grouping is honestly would be like playing with like Sergio's obviously had his prime and he was competing with Tiger.
right.
So he'd be like a Chris Paul, maybe the NBA,
Right,
like someone
right.
who's just been around forever and is still really good. And then obviously Rahm is, I think, 2 in the world right now. Him and Scheffler have been
Yeah.
back and forth between 1 and 2. So it was funny. I was supposed to play in the group before, and I had seen John. Like I just gave him like a fist pump in the locker room. Like, "What's up, man?"
Smoke a cigar
So
with you later.
he doesn't know me, but
Yeah.
he saw my
You
face.
want a shot?
No.
And there was a little confusion over on the tee, like something. So something happened where I don't know. It was like I was there was a putting green right beside the first tee.
Yeah.
So he comes over and he asked me like, what time are you supposed to be? And I told him, so he's like, okay. So he goes over there and he's kind of arguing with these guys, and eventually he's just like, come with like I was like Isaac because I introduced
Yeah.
myself. He's like, come play with us. So he like invites me to
Wow.
play in the group.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
there's open signups, so anyone can technically play with anyone,
Yeah.
but it doesn't really work like that. But there's a few guys like Rahm, McIlroy, I think like Spieth and Scheffler. I think like those 4 guys kind of had like reserved times. Like there was kind of X's beside their name.
Yeah.
Anyone else, like even like Morikawa or guys like this, you can technically, if you get in there early enough, sign up with them. But those 4 guys had reserved.
Yeah,
so
we
you
had
couldn't.
that. We had that too.
You couldn't
Yeah.
even like you couldn't get in that group.
Yeah.
So he actually said, just come play with
Like
us.
special invite.
And it was it was even crazier now that I think about it, because like there were 2 Spaniards. It's kind of like just like private time with those 2 guys. Like I guess Sergio was like a role model to John, so it's kind of like it was even cooler just to play with like just them 2.
Yeah.
Like there was no one else.
They speak in Spanish the whole time.
They do like
A lot
like a
with
little
each
bit.
other.
Yeah, like with each other. Like
Yeah.
not the whole time, but they'll kind of like make jokes. Like if they're joking, they're gonna do it.
Do they
in
speak in
Spanish.
Spanish, turn and look at you and start laughing or anything?
No, they didn't do that. No,
That's
no.
not what you want.
I know exactly what you're talking about. So just cut it out,
Yeah.
amigo.
So they were like really nice. Like I don't know what Sergio's like reputation is,
Yeah.
but he was super nice.
Yeah.
Like really nice to me. Was like he would come like hit chips where I'm hitting, and we would talk about shots. And Rom, he kind of has a little reputation of kind of a fiery guy, and there's some videos of him like he'll yell at the crowd like shut up or
Yeah.
screw you, like.
Yeah.
But when
Yeah.
you're in the ropes, it's kind of like it's different. He
Yeah.
was way nicer to me, I think, because I'm playing in the tournament
Right.
than if I was someone just like walking around
Some
watching.
yahoo.
So he treated me like with a lot of respect, and so that was I didn't really know what to expect.
How'd you play when you played with them?
I played all right. I hit a few bad shots. Like I was kind of nervous. Like
I bet. Are you
I mean,
kidding me?
how are you
Are you
not?
kidding?
I think that's kind of a given.
Yeah.
the first 2 holes I played really well, and then like the next couple holes, then I started to realize like wait, there's like 1,000 people here.
Well, yeah, I bet that's too, because
Yeah.
you're not with just some bums and
No,
nobody wants to
yeah.
follow you. Everyone's following these guys.
He pointed at Joe when he
Yeah,
said
no, what was
that.
that? No, that was just a casual hand motion. That wasn't at you. Yeah.
No,
That's very
But
true.
but if you played with a nobody, you're not gonna have a bunch of people
Yeah.
following you.
So I was kind of like a little hitting it, like hit a few bad shots on like 3, 4, 5, and John said to me, John actually hit a few bad shots too. And he was like, dude, it's Monday. Like, no one cares. Like,
Yeah.
dude, don't care what these people think. Like, no one here cares. Like, it doesn't matter. It's Monday. Like, just, who cares?
Yeah.
So then I actually, like, after he said that, I hit it better the next couple holes because we just played 9.
Okay.
So this was at LA Country Club, right?
Yeah, this is on Monday.
So what was that course like? How crazy was that? And
Horrible.
how does
That is what
that?
it
And when
seemed
you
like.
go from playing, amateur college golf to playing in the U.S. Open at that course, like how hard was that for you to adjust to? And I guess the question you always hear amongst, especially the U.S. Open, because they always try to make that the toughest major in terms of course setup. How did you find yourself like this was an unfair course, or what was it like overall?
So I think, to answer your first question, I think we play a lot of pretty tough courses in college. Like I think Coach Thomas does a good job putting us at like pretty tough tests.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I was like, what is this? Like totally unprepared, but it was even another step up.
Stay right.
So it wasn't like I didn't know what I was doing or how to handle it, but it was just even another level of toughness.
Yeah.
Like every part of your game had to be really good. I think like on TV they're saying the fairways are really wide and generous, but a fairway could be 60 yards wide, but it's at a 30-degree slope.
Right.
So you really have 15 yards to put it in. There was 2 holes in particular, 5 and 13, where like from an aerial view or a yardage book, it might say this is 55 yards wide.
Yeah.
But I hit a drive both holes like even left of center, and they roll in the right rough.
Yeah, you're
Just
still in the
because
rough.
it goes
There's a little
so
slope, right?
it's so there's so much slope
Yeah.
at that golf course. It might not. You would think like LA, like Beverly Hills, it's flat. And what's interesting is if you stand at the clubhouse, the general course looks flat,
Yeah.
but between every shot, you're going up or down. So there's a ton of like blind shots,
Right.
a ton of blind shots. And I thought for US Open, obviously it's going to be really tough. I just thought that the course was a little quirky in terms of, again, a lot of blind shots and a lot of shots where you couldn't see your ball land. So it could be good or it could be bad.
Yeah, you don't know until you
So,
get up there.
I mean, obviously, anyone's going to say this, but I felt like I had a lot of shots that I thought were going to be pretty good, and they turned out poorly.
Right.
And maybe I was just off by a couple feet. Maybe I
Yeah.
wasn't. I don't know, because it's hard to tell. But I thought that it wouldn't have been enough of a difference to like make the cut. But I think that there was several shots that I was thinking, wow, I could have a really good looking birdie,
Right.
and I'm still close to the hole, but maybe I'm stuck in the fescue
Yeah.
because the fescue around the greens is like this thick. And the problem is nothing bounces.
Right.
It
just
sticks.
Right.
So there were several times where you're standing like almost on the fringe, right, or really close to the hole, but you're almost making a full swing
Yeah.
just to hit it this far.
Wow.
How frustrating is that mentally? For
Yeah,
you?
right. Is that
Yeah.
draining?
So I first day I just didn't drive it well. I kind of had a rib problem, and rib kind of came out, and
Well, hold up. Rib kind of
Yeah, it just-
came out.
it was out a little bit, and Dr. Lowe's helped, and I just really couldn't look to the right, like very well. So it just felt uncomfortable to swing.
Here, let me get that for you.
Pop.
Yeah,
there it is.
please,
Yeah.
please.
No, so it obviously kind of sucked that it happened on
Yeah.
Thursday. So Thursday was kind of
You're just gritting and
yeah,
trying to grind
Thursday
it
was
out.
kind of a wash. Like nothing good was going to happen. Unfortunately, it was just kind of nasty.
Yeah.
What didn't look pretty, wasn't pretty, just kind of
Yeah.
scrapping it around. So Friday, it felt better. Like we worked on it pretty late that night and felt better. So I thought I hit it a lot better on Friday, even though I shot the same score. Friday, I kind of got in like the spots where I was just referring to, where like, oh, this was a good shot, bogey.
Yeah.
Even one hole I made a double, I 4-putted on 15.
Ouch.
I was watching that one. That
So-
was on the
so-
I do
live
that
stream,
a
and
lot.
that green was insane.
So that shot I thought was really good. There's actually about the size of this table, a little mound in the middle of the green.
Wow.
So it's like a little mound just right in the middle of the green. It looks like
Like
an
Tiny
anthill.
Town.
Looks like an anthill, yes.
Yeah, yeah, just like a tiny,
No,
like a
it
tiny
kind of
town.
is. It kind of is.
Yeah.
Like
Did
right
it
in
have
the
a
middle.
windmill that goes around?
Yeah.
It should have.
It should have. Yeah.
The way I felt it did. So I hit this shot, right? Like just a good example.
Yeah.
You hit this shot, it looks pretty much at the pin, and it lands on the back part of it. So instead of people are making hole-in-ones
Yeah.
because it's hitting and spinning in. So I land on the back of it and it shoots it forward. So then the putt, what do? You got to aim way over here.
Yeah. You
gotta go
and
around
then you
it,
got to
right.
go around
You
again.
hit a really good shot on that hole, where like you're
Fitzpatrick
saying.
made a hole-in-one.
Yeah.
Matt Fitzpatrick
But
made a
there was
hole-in-one.
like a putt where it's like, why is he going all the way
Oh yeah,
right,
like
and
the
then
putt,
it came
yeah.
back around?
Yeah, so that putt, probably, I mean, I think a lot of people were where I
Starting to do
was.
that, Yeah.
What's interesting is that I don't know how, but it looks like super fast. So it looks like you just have to get it over there and then it's going to go. But I actually left it up.
Yeah.
And it didn't even cross my mind that was possible. So I don't know how that, I guess no one else did that, hopefully. But now that I'm still there, then the next one's even harder because I've got to hit that one so soft. So it was just a disaster. But that's kind of an example of a hole where I could have made a 2 or 3 and I leave with a 5.
Right.
Like I didn't feel like I did anything like egregiously bad, and it was awful.
Yeah.
So I thought the margin of error was very razor thin.
Yeah.
I mean, so razor thin where a birdie and a bogey is legitimately a few feet of difference.
Yeah. Did you have a chance, because you get into it, you're caught up, maybe on the first day of just like, I just got to find a way through this, I don't feel right. Second day, you talk about the difficulty of the course. Did you have a moment at any point during the 2 rounds where you kind of were able to like step back and just take a
it
breath
in.
and take it
Yeah.
in?
I
Like,
think
were you able to do
I
that?
think the final 9, I kind of was able to kind of just, okay, like, because I knew I was going to make the cut. So just appreciate the fans. And the final 9 was cool because by that point, I think, so I started on 10 the second round.
Yeah.
So I'm on 1.
Yeah.
And there was a lot more people for that 9 because it was later, a little bit later in the day, and people were really coming out.
Yeah.
So the first hole, it was a lot of people, so that was cool. And then number 2, I had a really good chip and made it up and down. And there was probably like 200, 300, 400 people behind the green. So they were like went crazy.
Yeah.
Like anyone wants an amateur to do well. So
Yeah,
even if I was playing bad, no one cares. Like everyone's like, let's go, let's go.
Yeah.
Just like randomly screaming my name in the crowd. Like, I don't know who you are, but thanks.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
So it was, the last 9 was probably like, I wasn't like smelling the roses
Yeah.
yet, but I was
Soaking it
also
up a
kind
little,
of just
yeah.
like taking it in. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest lesson you learned from this experience, and maybe the biggest piece of advice you took from some of these guys that you played with?
So I think the guys I play with, something that I notice is they have I mean, this is kind of cliche in golf, but they're very routine oriented. Like they know exactly what they're trying to do every shot. There's never like oh, I'm just going to hit this, I guess, up there in the middle.
Yeah.
Which,
Well,
which
hey,
we
don't hate on that.
we don't claim to do that, but I think even like high-level college players still to some degree do that. We're just like, I don't know, but like Rose, for example, just never. He had a same intent on every shot, whether it was like his actual first shot or like the third one he's hitting.
Yeah.
Like his coach was videoing like every swing. They were trying to work on a little too technical.
Yeah.
But just so he is so on top. He is so on top of what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
And so to me, that means that if he actually goes out and executes, he's going to do well. So he's planning like the plan looks so good that, okay, if you actually do what you're trying to do, we know it's going to go well. And not like it might go well, like we know exactly what we're looking for. And then I would say like Rahm and Sergio, especially those two guys, they're not holding, I mean, I know it's a practice round, but they're not holding on to any shots. And what I mean by that is, like if it's a really tight hole, let's say there's, I don't know, like a creek here and out of bounds here. It's not, you would never know there's trouble. They're never like guiding a swing or kind of holding on or looking uncomfortable.
They're committed.
Yeah, but they're super committed. Like he might
Not
pull,
just committed.
Yeah.
like he might take a 3-wood, but it's full throttle, like full effort.
Yeah.
Like he's full intent on every swing. There's never any like, in their mind, there's no trouble out there.
Yeah.
Which even I'm like say like I do that, but I sometimes don't. Like I think very few really golfers in the world, even on tour, I don't think all of them do that. So those guys, you can tell like why they're not only professionals but some of the best of like this era to play, because it's like they're just not fazed by bad shots, and they're not fazed by like potential hazards out there. Like they don't care.
Yeah.
They're going for a great shot, not just like an okay shot.
People always talk about, I'm playing my game.
Yeah.
That's kind of that thing. Like nothing else matters.
That's
You're
what you
blocking
do,
it all out. You just got to play
do
your
that.
game.
You stick to your plan.
Yeah, well, my
the golf
plan.
course.
You should
it's the
start playing
execution.
Isaac's game.
It's the execution
please.
part that's
next
You
next
should have
year.
seen the putt that he made.
He made a bomb.
He made a
It
bomb.
was great.
London
But
Downs?
you should also
London
see
Downs.
Number
some of
10.
the drives.
Yeah,
On London.
Where's the pin?
Pins in the back left.
Okay, you're short.
He's
Right.
short. He's
a slow
short
putt.
to the left, and it's a little curver.
Breaks to
We
the
can
right.
pull it
Breaks
up.
to
Oh,
the
breaks
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Breaks to the right. I mean, he walked this
30
thing
footer?
in. Like, oh, it's 40-footer.
Yeah.
It was a 40-footer.
That's a slow putt.
It was slow. Yeah, he drained it. And
Now-
Fist pump?
Oh, totally.
Oh,
there was
fist pump, high
yelling.
fives, the
There,
whole
it was.
deal.
It was.
He
intense.
walked it in like
Yeah.
Tiger
Oh, my
against
goodness.
Yeah,
Bob
then he
May
walks
in
out in the
the-
Oh,
next
my
tee
God.
box
Yeah,
and
just
then
like-
serious.
Yeah, we don't have to
slice
talk
at
about
road?
the rest of the round.
Yeah, what
Or
road?
right of the road.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about that. Yeah.
You know the lady doing her garden. She
Yeah,
falls out
right,
of the
yeah.
balcony.
At least if you're going to miss it on that, that's a good hole to miss it.
Yeah.
There's not too much over there to the right.
Yeah. No, I missed it on most of them. So yeah, we found all the rough.
What's your favorite club?
Well, I think that's a changing changing one. I would say the driver, but it's not been very good lately. So I'm not going to say that. I kind of like hitting, I don't know about club, but maybe like an 8 or 9 iron. Like those kind of like shortish irons. That's kind of, I feel like the strength of my game. So we'll just go 8 iron, I guess.
What's the furthest you've ever driven the ball in a competitive round?
It's kind of hard to say. Like
Roughly.
I would say around like at least 400. At least. I mean, down if it's like no, like I've hit a drive at least that
Yeah.
far. Just
Still 400.
Okay. Just punch it out there.
like I think Rory hit one last year at a hole like 460. Like if it's downwind and you get a nice bounce, like
you get
I
the
think
bounce
at the
on it.
U.S. Open I hit one on 16. It's like 560 or 540 par 4. Like just so long,
ridiculous,
and just the green looks like it's a mile
Yeah.
in the distance. And the fairway's a little down.
Get a little
And I was mad. And I just crushed one. It was like 378.
boom.
Wow.
So that was the longest run I hit the
Wow,
U.S.
that's
Open.
pretty sweet.
I don't know about.
Is
ever-
it? Do you have a girlfriend?
That's complicated.
No, Joe, where are we going here?
Joe,
I wanna
that
ask-
just took us serious.
No. This has to do with driving the golf ball.
Okay.
All right, bring it
Because
back.
I'm bringing it back. It all makes sense. Trust me.
I'm so sorry.
Because
No,
because
that's a fair
listen,
question. He's turning
listen.
red.
No.
Listen,
fair question.
listen, it's a fair question. You know, he knows where I'm going with this.
He goes, well, since
because
the
when
US
you the
Open.
driver, yeah, he's in the U.S. Open, you hit the driver 400. I'm asking the question:
Okay.
Is it true that chicks dig the long ball?
I think so. yeah.
I mean, heck yeah, chicks dig the long
Yeah.
ball. Are you kidding
Yeah.
me?
So you putt for dough, right?
Yeah, that's
putt
right.
for
You drive
dough.
for show, putt for dough.
But chicks dig the long ball.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair question.
yeah.
I don't think like
It's a fair
Yeah.
question.
You're very composed. You can tell. Ramen and Sergio.
I don't think
really
any girls are asking like how well do you hit your 7-iron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't
Like,
know.
I just
Thank
did.
you.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, you're right.
You're
Or like
right.
like
You're
how,
married,
how's
yeah.
your like flighted wedges? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
yeah.
I don't think,
Although
yeah.
if someone does, that might be a keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
Like
might
how
win.
far are you hitting it?
Yeah. How many average putts around did you
Yeah.
have?
Yeah.
No,
No,
they
they're-
how
yeah.
far
How
do you hit the
You're
ball?
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's nice to have a,
Told you it made
400 in
I'm
your back
telling
pocket.
you.
Yeah, yeah, right.
He asked this
400
question to
baby.
Kieran, all the other guys that have been on.
So
He's
what's
not.
the answer from them? Like, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty. We're in agreement.
Well, I don't think it's. Yeah, I mean, Kieran and John must not hit it very far.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Oh man.
Love it.
Oh man.
Love
All
it.
right. Do you want him to do your Flame Central podcast? Powered?
Oh, yes. Good job.
I
man.
am just saying. I'm not the host of this place.
This is something we
but-
have all our guests do.
Everybody does this. Okay, so you just hit a home run on this one. Hit it deep.
Okay.
Flame Central Podcast,
All right.
and then throw a little emphasis on powered by Alcova.
Look,
Alcova
Alcova.
Mortgage.
Mortgage.
Flame Central Podcast powered by
you
Alcova
look at
Mortgage.
this
Right in
camera.
that
Okay.
one, right there. Go.
Flame Central Podcast powered by Alcova
That's
Mortgage.
That's it. Good. Good.
There
That's
it
it. That's good.
goes.
I like the
That was
power. That was
amazing.
great.
That was a good power.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, man. Yeah. Hit it.
Remind me, you have one more year?
Yeah.
One
so
more
one
season?
One more season here.
So is that sad? You look sad. I just
No,
got
no,
like
I'm not
Isaac
sad. I'm
Puppy
not
Dog
sad.
guys.
Yeah.
This is exciting.
I'm just feeling old, so I'm not sad. I just wish I was 18.
How old are you?
23.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm old, man.
It
so-
is crazy with all the COVID and like everybody's like so much older, still hanging around. So
But there's a lot of good, like, after making US Open, there's a lot of good, like, perks that come from staying AM right now. So that's kind of, I guess, maybe played into the decision a little bit.
Yeah.
I can play in, like, the Western AM this summer, the US AM. And then my plan right now is to actually do Q school in the fall, after the fall season. Like, that's what coach wants me to do. So I'm starting at first stage. So that's a first, second, final. So if I get through and play well, then I'm going to turn pro before the spring starts.
Okay.
But that's been the plan.
Yeah.
But it's pretty tough. Like it's pretty. You have to play really well.
Yeah.
But if not, then I'll still have the whole season to play, and then like do stuff when the summer comes.
when did you start playing golf?
You know, I don't know exactly. Like,
Just.
I mean, I was young,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
3, 4, 5.
Okay,
but
so very
my
young.
first tournament I played, I think I was 8 or 9.
Okay.
I know that. Yeah.
Have you ever thrown a club on the golf course?
Yeah. I've never broken a club, but
You should
thrown,
try it.
I have thrown a club.
You really might want to try.
Have you ever thrown a club near an opponent that almost hit them?
I don't think I
Yeah, I
almost.
would
I don't
think
think
you
I
No,
was-
Joe, and I know where you're going with this. Neither have I. Neither have I. Okay.
I've almost been hit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've actually ever hit. No,
I like that.
There was that.
maybe like at home, like playing with my dad or brother,
Yeah.
but not like a competitor.
Right.
I don't think I've almost hit a
no,
competitor.
no,
yet.
Well, that's usually what.
Matt is
threw a club.
No, he's a
Well, I throw
pickleball
clubs.
player.
Well, he
He's a pickleball
gloves.
player. We play pickleball in a league, right? He is a paddle thrower. And he can't
Oh,
control his
man.
anger, and he almost threw a paddle and took off my
Well-
teammate's head.
So when I haven't played much pickleball.
Do you help him to keep his?
Well, pickleball's fun, but I've played tennis, and I kind of am a racket. Like,
See?
I'm
Yeah.
a racket hitter.
Here's the
I don't
thing.
throw it though.
Isaac,
I'm a
you talked
racket
about
hitter.
how there's all this reputation around Sergio and Rob, but it wasn't really like that when
So
you
it's
got to
like
know
that
them.
with
That's
you.
the way
Okay,
it is
yeah.
with me.
It's
There's
like,
this
you're a nice
reputation,
guy.
right? But then
The
there's who I
media, it's
really
the
am.
media.
Right.
Yeah.
Joe just builds
It's
his
the media.
reputation.
Yeah,
It's not the
yeah.
way it really is.
the media. I get it.
The
Isaac
media.
Simmons, so happy to have you on today.
Yeah.
Thanks so much
Yeah,
for your time.
congratulations.
Really
Yeah,
pumped
that's
for
luck the
you.
rest of the
Thank you,
summer.
guys.
Excited to see what this does for you and for Liberty,
Yes.
moving
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
So thanks again.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
What a great guy. What a
Yeah.
great experience. I still can't, I mean, when we're playing in the Liberty Athletics golf
Right.
tournament, when I walk up to the shot, I think I told you guys if you watch the video and on the podcast, they are like shanking their ball everywhere. So I
How
go
many
up to the
times do
red
you have
tees.
to tell
And
this story?
when I tell you
Here
about
we
pressure,
go.
right? That's
Right.
one thing. But then this guy is sitting here playing with John Rahm,
That's the-
Sergio
Yeah.
Garcia. Like, I don't know how in the world you can have the nerves and like.
So you try to make
mentally
like a
focused.
comparison. I don't think there is one. This would be like we had Kyle Rode on a couple weeks ago. This would be like Kyle Rode going and playing with Luka and Giannis and Embiid, and then coming back and playing at Liberty.
Yeah.
You know, again, it's like
That's
you
actually a really good point.
there's just you don't see it in any other sport like that. That's just so insane. And he was telling us stories after about hanging out in the locker room. It's like Scotty Scheffler's his locker mate. You know, like
Adam
all these
Scott.
guys. They're just hanging like. I can't even like.
Tell both Masters
Yeah,
putters. won
if
the
you're
Masters
him,
with.
don't like. I think I would hang out in the locker room the moment it opens till the moment they tell me to go home.
Yeah.
You just want to soak it all up.
Right.
Wouldn't that be just so incredible?
Hey, what are you guys doing? Anybody
Yeah.
wanna hang out?
Hey, I'm going to Applebee's later. You guys,
Applebee's
let's
later?
go half price apps. You guys
Yeah,
thinking?
yeah, heck of a deal.
Do you guys know where I pick up my per diem?
Yeah, right. Like, man, so cool.
But really, after our conversation, he stuck around. I really don't think he wanted to leave. Like,
Well, I wouldn't. If I were him, I'd be like,
well, we
I'm going
coulda
to keep
kept-
talking about
We
this.
could have kept him here all
Yeah.
day with all
We
the
really
questions we
coulda.
were
Yeah.
asking him. Yeah.
But he said that during that round, he was playing and using John Rahm's putter.
Yeah.
And then in the locker room, he said Scotty Scheffler opens his locker and there's like 20 putters in there. And he got to like practice with Scheffler's putter. So those are two Masters winners that you're like, that's just so crazy to me.
Yeah, but Scheffler was like, "Hey, that's the putter you're holding right now
Yeah.
that I won the Masters with."
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
that's
that's
incredible.
so,
And it was Adam Scott too, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it-
and Rahm.
And Rahm.
It was
yeah,
Rahm. But-
And Rahm when he was actually like on the
Yeah,
course. And that's
yeah.
just what a cool. Again, I don't think that you can really compare it to like another sport. You tried, the Aaron Rodgers thing too. Like it's not like
It's just nothing
Demario
like
Douglas like went and playing catch
then
with
came
Tom
back
Brady
here.
and
Yeah.
then come back
Yeah,
to Liberty.
pretty cool.
So
Really
really
cool.
neat. So something I'm a little concerned about with Matt Warner.
Oh yeah,
You
let's
keep
get to this
building
point.
this up.
I don't.
Okay.
It's really,
I don't
you're not
even
going to
know.
think it's a big
really
deal.
It's
not
gonna
a
be a
big
letdown?
deal.
It's gonna be a letdown.
It's a little bit of a letdown, but hear me out. Like Matt's like, oh, I'm gonna just go rent out and like buy these shoes like from Facebook Marketplace, and I'm like, you're going to do that like by yourself? Like, what if you get killed? Was Joe gonna host the show with
Listen,
me?
I'm not me.
Who?
What
Well,
is that?
No, I'm
What
talking.
is that?
I'm not even talking
that
about.
seemed like a jab
Yeah,
at
it
me.
did.
No,
we did a great job hosting.
I'm
this
not
show
meeting
together.
in some back alley.
Wait, you're
We're not
buying
cutting
shoes
deals.
off
Yeah, I bought
Facebook?
some used shoes, some
Buying
used
shoes off
Nikes.
That's
Facebook
what I'm
Marketplace.
What
That's
do you
ridiculous.
mean?
That's
I got shoes for like $25.
That's
They're
ridiculous.
great.
They're actually pretty nice shoes.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, are you
I don't
really
understand.
go- like,
Why is this a thing?
that
they
is how
used?
people get
Yeah, they're
killed.
used. So what?
I think you should bring a buddy next time.
They're not that used.
I'm gonna bring. You guys need to.
Wait,
buddy
so,
system?
so you had to go to the guy's
I
place.
went, no, not to his house. I met him in a public. I'm like, we're doing this out in public, right? You meet at a public place, and it goes down. You kind of give him the old, like, you bring the cash, you kind of give him the little handshake, you slip him the cash,
and
little
he
wink,
usually
you give
shows
that
the
back.
shoes.
He gives you the shoes. He leaves them behind a bush
The
somewhere.
guy's like,
and
hey,
go
you
pick
want
'em
some of
up.
these shoes? You
Yeah.
want some of the?
I mean, it's a
you
simple
just want those.
process.
Right, don't feel bad. I went to sell a car one time, and I took it to this dude like somewhere. I don't remember where it was, but anyways,
In a back alley.
the guy took my car, right? Basically stole my car, and he was gone. It was like, hey, I'll be back in 10 minutes.
He
right?
was test driving
He was
it?
test driving it, and I thought to myself, I probably should go with this guy. He
Yeah.
like one of his buddies hopped in with him. Within an hour, I realized the guy's not coming back. And I'm standing on this and I'm like knocking on the door, like, hey, is that your I don't know where he's at. So anyways,
You're like, well, I don't know that guy.
So
He doesn't live
anyways,
here.
with,
Yeah.
with about an hour and a half passed by, and I said, well, it's time to call the police. So I called the police.
Yeah, about that time.
And I like to right. So I went and knocked on the dude's door. I said, let the dude know I called the police.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll do that. And then he showed back up
quickly
about
showed
10
up.
minutes later, and him and his buddies rolled out, and there was all kinds of paraphernalia in the.
Are you
in the
kidding
car.
me?
Yeah. And I called the cop back, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I got my car back, and he was like laughing at me.
Yeah, I bet.
It's like, you're an idiot. It's like, you're an idiot. You just went
See,
and you let
this
some
makes
random
me getting
dude.
shoes look like nothing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
A car. We're
nothing
talking about a
compared to
car.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this
Yeah.
is why I bring these little
Yeah.
stories together
Yeah.
because
It
you
always
never
leads-
know what
leads
to
Joe
what
Yock
Joe
is
has
going to pull out of his
experienced.
pocket. So, all right, I think that's it.
That's it.
Enjoy
Oh, no,
your.
I got one more 4th of July story.
Okay, one
So I was
more.
at Myrtle Beach, right?
Okay.
And so we're having fireworks.
Yeah.
and the fireworks are going off all over the place. People 30 yards down are lighting off fireworks.
Yeah.
All right, and nobody's lighting them off over here, but a bunch of people are lighting them off over there. All of a sudden, I see his vehicle running, and Uncle Paul, and
You know
We're meeting this
Paul.
whole family.
yeah, Papa,
Yeah, Papa.
and Jared and Ben, my two sons, right? They all take off sprinting and running because they realize that's a cop on a four. And I'm like, what is everybody running for? Like, everybody's lighting off fireworks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're not in trouble. So the guy pulls up. I said, officer, how you doing? Happy 4th of July. And he says, happy 4th of July too. And he pulls out his little pad and paper and he starts writing me a ticket. And I'm like, what's going on? He's like, you're not allowed to shoot fireworks here.
Yeah.
I said, what are you talking about? Everybody's lighting fireworks off right beside me. He said, you're 30 yards across the line into Garden City. We're in Garden City.
They just wait for schmucks like
Yeah.
you to just
And
like
so
not
then,
know the
so
line.
then I went to go buy a gun for hunting,
Yeah.
right? A little 12 gauge for hunting, and they do my background check. He's like, sorry, you can't have a gun. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, you get a firework ticket.
Wow, you've got a record.
Then I got a record. But then they were like, but there's a good
What are you in for?
ending to the story.
Yeah, 30 yards across the
The
line.
fireworks, I was able to eventually
there.
purchase the
Yeah.
gun because I got it all taken
You got to
care
take
of.
it.
That's-
So
we were
my
really
record's
worried about
clean.
that.
Good.
So we don't need to.
We don't hire
we don't hire
felons
felons.
around.
We don't need felons.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, no, we're
Good.
good.
Yeah, Flame Central podcast powered by Lynchburg Police
By
Department.
local attorney. Yeah.
Lynchburg City Jail.
Yeah.
Hope everyone has a great 4th of July. Safe travels, safe,
Yes.
fireworking, whatever you want to call it. I know Stanley is not happy already.
dogs
He's
don't like
not
that
a huge
stuff.
fan of the fireworks. For Joe and Matt, I'm Emily. We'll see you next week.